Hey guys, what's up? It's Ella, and I'm back with another baseball video. This one's going to be about the All-Star Game. So basically, I've noticed that when fans vote, they tend to be very biased in their voting, like vote for their favorite players. Myself included, totally didn't vote only for Mets on that. So anyway, I should probably vote differently because I'm kind of being hypocritical in this video, but it's okay. You know what? I'll do that. I'll vote differently. But anyway, this video, basically, I've been looking at, the standings, I guess, for who's winning in the All-Star voting right now, and it really surprised me. I was looking at first base in the NL because my favorite player is Pete Alonso, and I wanted to see if he was there. So he wasn't even in the top 5, and that surprised me, especially considering who was beating him. So first was Max Muncy, and initially I'm like, what? And then I checked his stats, and I'm like, okay, I can't. He's batting .264 with 14 home runs. So that doesn't sound all-star level to me, but then again, now that I'm thinking about it, nobody's really doing that great in first base in the NL right now. So I'm like, okay, Max Muncy, I guess that's understandable, even though I think he's overrated. Second, though, that's where I'm like, really? Second was Freddie Freeman, who was the reigning MVP. So that's where the bias is. A little bit, and he's batting .237, so right off the bat, I'm like, no, I don't care how many home runs I get. I'm not having someone batting .237 in the All-Star Game. He's got 15 home runs, which is one more than Max Muncy, so why does he have the second most votes? His stats are basically equivalent to Pete Alonso's stats last year, and last year, everyone's like, his 2019 was a fluke. He did not deserve that Rookie of the Year. He's never going to hit that many home runs again. No. And then now Freddie Freeman's doing that same thing, and they're like, yup, that guy's an all-star, yup. Or just they're like, that guy's the reigning MVP, so yeah, we totally want him in the All-Star Game. Doesn't matter how he's playing this year. Let's not think about that. We want him in the All-Star Game. Totally not putting him in the All-Star Game this year based on what he did last year or anything like that. And then after that is Anthony Rizzo. His stats, or at least his batting average, is the same as Max Muncy's, essentially, .265. But he's got half the amount of home runs, so that's just 7 home runs, .265 batting average. That's nothing special about that. That's that's slightly above average. That is not all-star level. And then after that, Eric Hosmer? Where does he come from? What? He's batting .258 with 5 home runs. So I'm doing a voiceover for this part because I said a lot of stupid things about Eric Hosmer. So essentially, he isn't hitting that great this year. Well, not terrible. And I know he's had some good years in the past, but that's in the past. And we shouldn't focus on that instead of his very average year this year, and he should not be that high in the All-Star vote. And then Jesus Aguilar, and then he makes sense. To me, he makes sense more than anyone else. He's batting .271, which, his batting average is in the 70s, so already I'm like, okay, that puts him one step ahead of Max Muncy. And then he's got 12 home runs as opposed to Max Muncy's 14, so I'm like, there's not much of a difference there, so I feel like Aguilar is more qualified than Muncy, just because the batting average is not significantly, but enough higher that I'm like, okay, having a batting average in the 70s sounds a lot better than having sounds a lot better than having a batting average in the 260s. So that's how I feel about that. So then I'm like, where is Pete Alonso? Why is he not even in the top 5? Why does Eric Hosmer have more votes than him? Let me tell you about Pete Alonso, okay? He is batting .260 right now, which is the same as his rookie season, with 10 home runs, which is nothing to laugh at. And I know that's worse than Max Muncy, that's worse than Aguilar, So I'm not saying he should be number one because I'm not that much of a biased Mets fan, even though I am really much a biased Mets fan. But so I am re-ranking this, even though it's just based on people's votes and stuff. But I just think like people are very biased in their voting, myself included. Just a fact, and it's kind of a problem. So maybe we should do something about that, including myself. So this is what I think it should be. Aguilar 1, because of what I said before. Then Muncy. Then Pete Alonso. And that's not me being a biased Mets fan, because just compare their stats, because I did. And then Anthony Rizzo. And then Freddie Freeman, just because of the home runs. And then Eric Hosmer. So I don't know. This is seem like I didn't even look at the other positions, so maybe I'll do that later, and then I'll be like, should have put that in the video before I just got mad that Pete Alonso wasn't in the list and decided to make a video about that. But that's pretty understandable. Can you see the jersey? Nope, you can't. So gosh, can you see it now? Okay, let's just hope they could see it. And if you couldn't, it says Alonso. Okay. So yeah. I'm going to go vote who I actually think should be in the All-Star game, and maybe you should too, because this shouldn't be about who's the most, it's basically like high school president. It's like who's the most popular instead of who's the most qualified. Like, maybe we should just like vote who has the best stats. Like, it's a crazy idea, but I think that it might work. So I'm going to go vote again. So yeah. It's my video. Hope you liked it.